Well, it's the summertime, and of course, here at Rubarb, we're near the end of their 2014-2015 season with their final musical right behind us, Anne&Gilbert. And of course, joined with me is the director, Evie Kuswatsky, and not Anne, but it's Gilbert. Mr. Will Lamond joins us now. So we're going to start with you, Evie. First off, I guess, we all know Anne of Green Gables. This is the sequel to the original. So talk a little bit about this musical for those that might not know.
So this musical is based on the story of Anne of Avonlea and Anne of the Island. So if you're fans and you're reading the books, those are the ones that it's based on. And so we follow Anne kind of in her last year of high school and into how she gets into teaching and into Redmond and then her furthering relationship with the one and only Gilbert Blythe. So it's more of, her growing up, and she still makes those same quirky mistakes that she did in Anne of Green Gables, where she's Anne. She loses her temper. She's still got the red hair and freckles. She's still feisty. She's still passionate about all the things that she dreams and wants. And but yeah, she's a little bit older, and we get to see her facing some new challenges. So.
What made you decide to have this play in your lineup? Not only, from what we saw, it's the Saskatchewan premiere event because PEI's done it and Ottawa's going to be doing it in December. So why choose this play?
Well, to be honest, when I did Anne of Green Gables back in 2007, it was sold out. And so there's just something about this show for this region, these book series for this region, and also for Canadians as a whole. Maclean's just did a book survey, and the #1 character in all of Canadian literature is Anne of Green Gables. And so, I mean, it's a character that people love, and this is a story that they don't know. So it's got that element of, she's my friend, I grew up with her, I know these movies, I know this story, but it takes it to the new level. So you get to go to the theater and know that what you're going to see is something you're going to love, but you're also going to see something new. So it's a really nice compliment.
Yeah, because there's like 8 movies or something like that, like the miniseries that was on TV for years, and I just did my research of Anne of Avonlea as well. So talk about the casting. We have one of the cast members right beside me, of course, who, as he's deathly with his 6'3" frame, looks above me. But you do have some local talent. You do have Dan Falk out of Moose Jaw. You do have Malia Becker out of Regina. You do have Mary
Woods. Yeah, and Dan was with us at Christmas time, and in It's a Wonderful Life. Nope, that was last year. Oh,
it was the Christmas Carol, wasn't it?
The Christmas Carol, that's right. Yeah, you know my season better than I do. And then and Marianne Woods, she was in that show as well, and as well as a number of other shows she's been in. She's very recognizable to our audience. And Malia, this is her first time doing a Rubarb show, so we're excited to have her join the family. Yeah, and then there's the whole community ensemble. Our summer show is a real special collaboration with the community. At Rubarb, we really want to encourage and foster growth of the arts and culture in Moose Jaw, and love of theater, not only in the audience but also on stage. And so this is a real special partnership that we get to have with Equity and the Canadian Actors Equity Association, as well as the Professional Association of Canadian Theatres. They created this opportunity for us to bring along those community members, and it's really exciting because a number of our community members are growing up and going into educational institutions where they're taking theater and they're going into the business, and so it's exciting to see the full circle where we invest in the people and give them that opportunity to share the stage with professionals, and then they go off and join the business. So it's nice. So
now that we talked about the other cast with the rest of them, and now I found out yesterday that you guys tried to get Megan Follows as the original Anne, tried to come here to play Anne, but of course she declined because, well, we don't know her social media and we don't know her phone number. But you have the next best thing. You have Jacqueline French playing Anne. Just talk about her portraying the role of Anne.
She's feisty. Yeah, she's. I think Gilbert can really speak to how she's got this energy and this sparkle, and this power. She takes over the classroom, and she's got those kids fighting back. She's got that Josie Pye, Emily Harridge, one of my students in theater school. Kind of fighting back at Anne, and then you see that relationship develop. So she's got a lot of growth in this show, where she finds that she's stepping into her role as a teacher. She's nervous about what's going to happen, and then she's successful, and she makes a difference in the community. And then she steps into her life at Redmond University, and she's not sure what's going to happen. And then then it goes really well too. And same thing with her love life. She's just not sure where she's at, and I can't really tell you how that ends, but she gets lots of proposals. I can say that.
Yeah, we don't. It's like one of those big blockbusters, but they won't say anything. And now we feel bad because we left Will hanging for a while, but now we'll finally have a chance to speak with him. So, an Ontario native, which you're from Toronto, and how did you get involved in this project, and how much of Anne of Green Gables did you actually know prior to this?
I knew a little bit about the original story, obviously, and it's so much part of our culture in Canada. And I knew basically nothing about the next two books that this is based on, Anne of Avonlea and Anne of the Island. But I've since picked them up since we started this project, and it's really fun because you get you get a really good sense of the world that Ellen Montgomery was creating, and that she was also the world that she was a part of. And it was such an interesting time of growth in Canada. We're talking about the beginning of the 20th century, and women's suffrage is gaining momentum. We're a couple, 10 years away from them getting the vote, and growing feminism. And it's really interesting how much these stories that this show is based on really start to delve into that, and especially with the character of Anne, of being, she's not content just to sort of settle down and get married in the way that everybody else did traditionally on Prince Edward Island. She wants to go and she wants to discover the world and make something of herself. And she has, a very romantic vision of how that's going to go, and nothing ever works out the way you imagine it like that. But I've really grown to really be fascinated by these stories and how modern they were, even though, they were written around, 1910. And I really sort of connect with these characters. There's something very Canadian about them that I think we can all relate to.
So, we all know that Anne of Green Gables is about Anne, and Gilbert obviously is younger now that they're getting older in this play. We learn more about Gilbert, so kind of dive into a little bit, I know, without giving away too much, about just kind of Gilbert's emotions as the play goes on. Yeah,
it's an interesting dynamic between Anne and Gilbert, because Anne is this dreamer. She's got sort of all of these romantic fantasies, and she really. In this show, she doesn't really know exactly what she wants, but she knows that she wants something special and more. And Gilbert's sort of the exact opposite in a lot of ways, in that he's really down to earth. He sort of enjoys the simple things. Like, there's a great scene where he goes to the beach, and that's just enough for him. And he wants to be a doctor and come home to Avonlea. And I think that dynamic between the two characters is really interesting, because they're sort of pulling at each other. You know what I mean? This sort of very down to earth, relatable guy, and then this really fiery, dreamy, sort of like she just comes up with these incredible fantasies, and you could sort of imagine her, given the right opportunities, going into politics and becoming, the first female prime minister in 1920 or something like that, whereas Gilbert is very content just coming home to Avonlea and sort of having a simple, happy life. So I find that a really cool dichotomy between the two of them,
I think his frame and his hair looks definitely like Gilbert from the just from the poster from the back.
That looks like me from behind, actually. It's uncanny.
That's why we chose you.
We joked about that. So we're actually a week away from opening, less than a week actually. So talk about the other dates that are going to be happening with the show, and where do people get tickets if they want to?
Well, the show runs from July 30th to August 16th with 7 p.m. shows and 2 o'clock p.m. shows. Just check the website, rubarb.ca, and tickets can be purchased online or at our box office, which is where we are right now, 321 Main Street North. That being said, you can also email in, if that's the most convenient thing for you, tickets@rubarb.ca, or let's say you've left it and you've put it off, you can still come to the door at the theater. We take our box office there an hour before show, just to make it convenient for you to pick up your tickets or to purchase ones as well.
All right. Well, it definitely does sound like a great musical, knowing because actually I myself have a small role. I get married. I realize my life's over. Actually, that does not. That doesn't happen. Yes.
Marries.
Yeah, I do actually. That's all. It will be a very exciting play. Will and Evie, thanks so much for taking time. Anne and Gilbert next week at May Wilson. Go see it.